Tell me when you're recording. Come on.
Yep.
Okay, we're currently looking north from Isepezi Mountain. Date is the 20th of January 2014. If we look straight below us here, we'll see a very eroded area. Right down here, over the lip. You can follow it with the camera, coming up from my right to my left. That eroded area is where the Zulu army camped on the night of the 20th. They had left Ulundi on the 17th of January. They had marched up here from our right through these hills and valleys, and they reached here the night of the 20th, and this is where they camped. Obviously there were stragglers coming up. The whole Zulu host, numbering 25,000, wasn't all in one league. They had in fact from Ulundi marched in two columns to this particular point. Now of interest, on the 21st, when the Zulu army was debating what their tactics should be, a patrol from Janaurary, which if you pan across, you'll see across there in the northwest as you were, under the command of Lieutenant Brown, Edward Brown, was sent to have a look at the country ahead. He rode from Janaurary and to a ridge which we're looking at now, which hopefully will show 3D on the camera. But to pinpoint it exactly, focus on the vehicle we left behind, and then move your eye to the right, across to that dam that you see on the hill. In between, there's a fold in the land, the center of which you'll see possibly a whole lot of trees or possibly cacti in a fold in the ground there. Brown got as far as the reverse slope of this ridge that we're looking at, which is not really noticeable from the height that we are in. And he was then seen by Zulu scouts, and the Zulu scouts deflected him. They put in a masking movement. Brown was up against 100 or more warriors. There were a few shots exchanged. Brown broke off the engagement, went back to his Janaurary, and reported a small force of Zulus in their vicinity. Little did he know that had he ridden on, and hadn't he been intercepted, he'd have found the whole Zulu army camped in this valley which I'm indicating right in front of the camera here. So that is a historical spot. It's from the heights of as you were, yes, Isepezi rather, that we've taken this picture. And once again, just fit that into the bigger picture of Zululand. And it's clearing up a bit. I'm just going to bring your camera up onto the middle distance there. And there you've got a mound, you've got a conical hill and a flat-topped hill, and there's a valley in between. That's where the Prince Imperial was guazed on the 1st of June, 1879.
And the route of the main army to the Ngobeni Valley?
The route of the main army to the Ngobeni Valley took place into this hollow that we are looking at. And if you look in the middle distance, you'll see there's a river system running away to the north. They used that dead ground, and that dead ground, although it doesn't look like dead ground to you here, it certainly is, because behind that aerial there's a whole lot of folds and ravines in the ground, and they moved from right to left, and they went through all these mountains and valleys, etc., until finally on the other side of that house, which is where you can see glinting, the sun glinting on its roof, there in that broken ground at the back, they moved into the Ngobeni Valley, which is directly behind that house, which is treed on that slope. If you look, just of interest's sake, another hill we got to conquer is the one right behind that house there. You'll see those two little pinnacles on the horizon, well, not quite on the horizon, but in the near distance. That on the other side of that is Sarah's stronghold, and that's yet another place we've got to visit.
So they ended up 5 k's from Janaurary, that main army?
Yes, they did. And on the 22nd of January, they were within 8 kilometers, 5 miles to be exact, of the camp. But of course, they had sent forces forward to One Tree Hill, which is where they were discovered by Raw at about 12 o'clock on the day of the battle, which was the 22nd of January 1879. We'll look at that later.